Hi there. In this video, I'm going to talk about the career paths that one could have in the field of data science. Well, if you've been following our channel, then you'd know that in the past few sessions, I've been talking about, why pursuing a master in the field of data science could be so critical and how it could advance your career. And so in this session, I thought it would be a good idea to talk about the kind of careers that one could enjoy in the field of data science, right from the entry level all the way till the very, very top earning job in data science. My name is Anand Venkatesan. I'm a founder mentor of this platform called Mentors Capital. We help students connect with mentors from across the globe and hopefully make better admission decisions. All right, so let's get this session started. I'm going to cover all the careers that you could get into in the field of data science, and specifically, I'm going to try and describe the job role, exactly what it entails, and the kind of skills that go and complement that role, and also, most importantly to us, the kind of salaries that you're going to earn in that particular career choice. All right, let's get the session started. As we all know, data science, is a field that's at the intersection of math, programming, and domain knowledge, right? And this is a matrix that you need to keep in mind all the time, irrespective of what specific skills are needed for data science roles. You must keep in mind that a strong fundamental base in mathematics and statistics and probability, coupled with programming expertise and maybe even experience in that regard, would really define how well you do in your career. So what does the career in a data science path look like, right? So you can see this is kind of a tiered structure that I've created, a career ladder, so to say, starting from the first step, which could be a business analyst or a data analyst in a company, and then rise along the way, all the way till you become, a machine learning scientist or maybe even a data scientist in a particular company, right? So many roles to talk about. There's enough nuance, but do keep in mind that most of the time, all of these roles will be present in a data of a company, right? Which means that all of these roles tend to complement each other. They play functions that add value to each other, and at the end of the day, help solve problems from a data standpoint for a business. Before I continue, and I will talk about each of those roles in a little detail, let me quickly tell you about what we do, right? So mentorscapital.com is a mentorship platform, which means that at the core of it, we try to connect students with mentors from across the globe. And these mentors come from diverse backgrounds, diverse functions and domains, and can really give you an insight into their career choice. And this, we believe, will really help you make better choices, both at the time of considering a career and at the time of applying or preparing for one. So how exactly does this work? Well, you just visit our website, that's mentorscapital.com, and explore the plethora of mentor profiles listed out there. These profiles come from diverse backgrounds, industries, and sectors. So make sure that you find a profile that fits your requirement as well as probably also mirrors your background. Once that happens, just put in a request and we'll connect you on a one-to-one Zoom call where all your queries can be answered, whether they are open-ended ones or very specific to a particular job role or industry. Well, that's not more. We also offer a plethora of services that make your application journey simple. This starts from the very basic preparation for interviews or video assessments or even essay rounds, followed by a little more comprehensive solution where we help you with college shortlisting all the way till creating the final application and help you obviously get not just an admit but also a scholarship to boot. And last but not the least, we also train you for the entrances that you might testing requirements that universities might happen, which include the GMAT, GRE, SAT, and language tests like the TOEFL or the IELTS, right? So the belief is that we can help you with everything. Just try us out. Just visit our website www.mentorscapital.com. All right, so let's start with the most basic career. That's the role of a data scientist. You can see I'm defining the data scientist, the data analyst, as somebody who's a cross-functional expert, which means he understands multiple domains within a company, right? Obviously, this comes with a fair bit of expertise, but to start with, you do not need to be from a technical background. Non-STEM candidates are also considered for data analyst roles as long as they've had sufficient experience that gives them domain knowledge. Well, the technical prowess needed is obviously a basic grounding in mathematics, statistics, computer programming, and even domain knowledge, right? You do require, programming knowledge, which means you should have written code to solve, business problems or even projects. But this is a requirement which is not very, very deep, right? A basic knowledge of Python and SQL might even suffice in order to become a data analyst, right? And remember, that's so because your role primarily entails, using data to solve business problems, which means that you are going to generate insights. You're going to generate insights that could be used by the business team. You're probably part of a team there. Decisions are made on the basis of data. So most of your work is going to be functional in nature. You're probably restricting yourself to a particular domain, like a financial analyst or a marketing analyst, and glean data, which could include past data and market trends, and sometimes even doing some predictive, running some predictive algorithms to uh, to foresee the future, right? And like everything else, the domain applicability of data analysts is very, very large. You could be sitting in a tech firm, a consulting firm, a financial or consumer goods company. It could even be a startup. Pretty much all sectors today have the use of data, right? And starting salaries, well, data science is obviously the most sought after job, and the number I'm showing you here is the starting salary, as reported by the American Bureau of Labor Statistics, right? So, well, it might sound a little inflated for those of us in India, but I think the perspective is that if this is the starting salary, which works out to around 40 lakhs, then what is the career growth like? Well, let's move on. The next step, if you're rising through your career, is that of a business intelligence developer, right? Now, the role of a BI developer is primarily to be able to extract data, transform it, and use it, and make it ready to use by your data team, right? By the machine learning engineers or data scientists or architects in your team, right? And so the ideal profile is probably a STEM background, somebody who is technically proficient. And since a BI developer typically works on enterprises where data is pulled out, but it also uses data science softwares and platforms, you need to be comfortable with both the enterprise level, enterprise side, like things like ERP software, SaaS, database scripting, Oracle, and even Unix shell scripting. So I mean, the role probably defines what kind of skills you need, and the role here is one of extracting data, warehousing it, using it to develop business models. Although you're not really going to go deep into the modeling side of things, but a BI developer does sort of do preliminary modeling and data visualization and reporting it to the other members of his team. So it's key to understand that the role spans all the way from extracting data to reporting it within the data team, right? And again, this applies across various domains and sectors and industries, right from technology, healthcare to startups. The starting salary of a BI developer, you can see, is going through almost a good 30% jump. And this probably also mirrors the fact that you need substantial experience of about 3 to 4 years in order to be considered as a BI developer. Obviously, the alternative is to have done a master's program and gained those skills. Well, the next role in a data science team is that of a data engineer, right? And a data engineer is a tech savvy guy. He's somebody who keeps in touch with technology, updates himself, and understands the technology needs for the company or the team that he's working for, the industry or the domain that he's working in. So typically a STEM background is needed. Maybe 3 to 5 years of experience can really help. Technically speaking, you need to be comfortable with both the programming side of things, also understand database management and scripting, as much as experience counts in terms of delivering projects across at least one or two major sectors where you intend to be hired. The role itself is one of data processing, right? The warehousing part, where you're collecting and saving data, making sure that it's easily accessible by other members of your team for all machine learning algorithms and other modeling techniques to be applied onto the data. So a major task is to allow the data to be processed and available. Obviously maintaining and cleaning the data and making it ready to use is one of the major tasks, as is data pipelining, sorry, as is pipelining, which basically allows uh, you know um tasks to be divided amongst other members of your team, so that with one component of the job, when it's finished, other people can then work on your output to generate complex analysis, right? So there's a fair bit of pipelining at play here, and a successful data engineer has to be good at that, right? And like everything else, here too, the domains are across the globe. What kind of starting salaries does a data engineer see? Again, a healthy jump. You can see, in recognition of the skills gained, in recognition of the kind of technical expertise and ability to deliver projects, right? So $100,000, which roughly works out to about 75-80 lakhs, that a data engineer works, is quite a handsome salary. And as with everything else, you could take two paths. One, which is an experienced working through the industry and learning the skills on the job, or alternatively, after a few years of experience in a data team, you go and study a master's program in data science. And once you've gained those and applied those in projects and internships, you're ready to be picked up at a very, very nice hike in your salary, right? Next up comes the data architect, right? As the name suggests, he's somebody who's going to design the system after assessing the requirements for the business. And this system will then be deployed and be used by other members of the team, right? So the ideal requirement is not just a STEM background, but also a very, very deep understanding of business and data needs, right? Business and technology, because the requirement here is to match the business requirement with the technology needs of the company, right? Which means that technically speaking, you need to know both enterprise software, as well as database management systems, and all the way till even knowing machine learning solutions, right? ML solutions on Hadoop, which include Hive, Pig, etc. The role itself, like I said before, has to do with creating structures and setting and designing and setting up database structures, information management, allowing for mining of data and where it should be stored, and then the algorithms that you will apply onto the data set given to you, right? So the entire architecture, the entire system that the company uses will be designed and overseen and maintained by the data architect. As such, a senior role, because it's a role that needs very, very good understanding of technology, but also expertise within the domain of the business, right? And hence the starting salary is slightly more than that of a data engineer. But I think the real value lies in the kind of expertise you bring to the table, right? This then leads on to you aspiring to become a machine learning engineer. Right now, the skill here is obviously the ability to develop algorithms and models, and design the system that churns, that sort of takes the input at the data as the data, and churns out the output, which is what would be the insights that the business is looking for. Ideally a STEM background with tons of experience, because you need to understand both the algorithm side and how it can be used judiciously by a business. And so technically speaking, you need to know natural language processing, you need to understand neural networks, you need to be able to work with signal processing and data modeling techniques, and obviously machine learning algorithms and the platforms and softwares that you need are a critical requirement here. The role itself is actually deep knowledge of the ML system, the machine learning softwares and the various algorithms present in the library. So the skill is one of, the role involves choosing which algorithm to deploy, how to go about deploying it, and which machine learning library would be applicable to solve the task at hand. And thus it's also deployed today across, I mean, blockchain is the buzzword, and we're pretty much using blockchain in e-commerce, in logistics, in cryptocurrency, finance, edtech, and more such areas, right? And because of that, the wide applicability and the deep expertise needed, the starting salaries again are close to around 80 to 75 to 80 lakhs in rupees, or about 150 $120,000 US. And at the very top of the hierarchy would be a ML engineer, sorry, a machine learning scientist or a data scientist, who literally creates the model, envisions the model, creates it, and uses it to solve the problem that the business is particularly facing. If not a problem, at least create a solution that enhances the business and its delivery, right? And the ideal profile is again a STEM background, but absolutely strong in mathematics and probability and modeling, but equally strong in the programming aspect and in understanding machine learning, which means, comprehensively speaking, understand enterprise software, understand programming and ML, deep learning and other such tools available. The role itself involves deploying, all of these, machine learning tools in your arsenal, and to identify which algorithm fits the problem, and how that should be deployed, and what the outcome is probably going to be, and how it can then solve or improve the business and its delivery, right? Wide applicability across industry. Data scientists are in demand all over, whether it's a startup dealing in e-commerce or edtech, or it's a financial services, large financial services company, or a technology major. Data scientists are pretty much setting the world and the corporate world on fire as we speak. Starting salaries of around 140 $150,000, which well crosses the 7-figure mark in rupees, is pretty handsome. It's one that you should aspire for, and chances are, in order to reach the highest levels, I can pretty confidently say that you do need a master's degree in the field of data science. But I think the idea I would like to leave you with is that choose your end goal or your medium term goal, and make sure that you match the course, and various components within the course. Make sure that you match it with both your background and your skills, and the skills and the role and the skills needed in the role that you aspire for, right? Well, thanks a lot. I hope this video was useful. If you do have any questions, or you feel that I haven't covered something adequately, do write into me. That's my email ID, anand@mentorscapital.com. You can obviously drop us a text on WhatsApp as well. That's the number shown up on your screen. And in case you feel like doing so, visit our website and drop us a callback request, and we'll be sure to reach out back to you, right? Thank you guys, and see you in our next video.